Let's talk about the car news of the week, starting with Tesla and their new entry-level Model 3. When the Model 3 was first launched and announced, there was promises. Elon Musk said that this would be a $35,000 pure electric Tesla, affordable to the general public. Well, when you could actually buy Model 3, most of them were significantly above 35 grand. Fast forward 3 years, almost 3 years later now, we have what Tesla is calling the Model 3 Standard, which is essentially just a very, very base level Model 3. It's single motor, 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds, 220 miles of range, and a top speed of 130 miles an hour. Where they really save money, you can see on the inside, standard manually adjustable cloth seats. You get a very basic sound system. A lot of the options have been taken out of the vehicle. Looks like the only interior option is black. On the outside, the only free paint color is black. They're taking inspiration from Henry Ford and the Model T. You can have it in any color as long as it's black. If you want something a little more colorful, expect to pay $1,500 to $2,500 more. If you would like to have autopilot, pay $3,000. So eventually, if you want everything into it, it will get a little bit pricier. But if you're okay with just a base level Model S or Model 3, they've fulfilled their promise, $35,000, which actually ends up being $36,200 once you factor in destination costs, but base price of 35 grand. There's also a standard range plus, slightly upgraded version where you get 240 miles of range instead. It's a little bit faster. You get some of the equipment, sound system put back in. It's a little bit higher end. Tesla is lowering the prices of all their cars on average by 6% by switching to online-only sales. So they've closing a lot of their stores. They're going to leave some in high traffic areas open as like galleries or information centers where a lot of people go by so they can find out about that. But this also allows them to not only just save money, but circumvent the dealer franchise laws that Tesla has been fighting up against since they first came out. In Michigan, they haven't had a Tesla store because of these dealer franchise laws. They cannot sell the cars here. So they'll be able to get around that by doing these online ordering. It's like you can pretty much buy a car like you would buy, I don't know, electronics online. It's very interesting. Something that's even more interesting, Tesla made an announcement that you could purchase a Model 3, drive it for up to 1,000 miles, and return it for no money. You get all of your money back. They literally, like word for word in their post, were like, yeah, you could pick up a Model 3, drive it for a weekend with some friends, and then give it back to us for no money. What in the world are they going to do with all these used and likely abused up to 1,000 mile Tesla Model 3s? I don't know. That makes no sense to me. But like, if you can do it, all right, why not? I'll take a Model 3 and drive it around for free and then just give it right back to them. It's interesting. I didn't know they would do like a return policy like that. I'm very intrigued to see how Tesla does, especially when the other automakers enter this pure electric marketplace. When the Porsche Taycan comes out, when the Audi e-trons become more popular, I think Tesla might have some difficulties fighting against these people, but there's going to be a lot of competition coming soon, and we'll see how they do. But the gist of it is, an entry-level Model 3 is finally available for that $35,000 price range. In my opinion, if you're actually going to buy one that you would like to drive, it's not going to be $35,000 because there's like nothing in that car. You're going to want to put an autopilot at the very minimum, I think. But yeah, it'll cost a little bit more. Next up, we have a Ferrari to talk about. The brand new mid-engine V8 Ferrari replacing the 488, the F8 Tributo. It seems like the 488 had just come out and they're already replacing it. I think maybe it hasn't been selling that well. It's not that popular, but it seems like they've rushed through the 488's product cycle. Most owners probably haven't gotten their Pistas yet, and they're already launching the new generation. They launched the Coupe and Spider of the Pista pretty much at the same time. Usually those are spaced out a little bit longer, but regardless, the F8 is out now. It's supposed to be literally a tribute to all the previous mid-engine Ferraris that have come before it. It's got a 2.9-liter twin-turbo V8 that's essentially just pulled from the Pista, making 710 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. That power should be routed through a 7-speed dual clutch through the rear wheels only. They really needed to do that to match up against some of the competitors with what they're doing. The GT2 RS is crazy fast. The McLaren 720S has been absolutely demolishing everything in its class in terms of performance. Styling-wise, also pretty major changes around the front. I never loved the way the 488 looked, especially those two like vertical slats in the lower bumper, the painted body color ones. I just never loved the way the 488 looked. This one, I like it a lot. The F8 looks great. The headlights kind of remind me of the LaFerrari. It's got the S-duct from the Pista that is supposed to like channel air like through the hood and bumper, provide up to 15% more downforce just from that aerodynamic piece alone. It's a lot more sleek. It looks aggressive too. Around back, they've gone back to the quad taillights, 2 on either side. You got the double exhaust that exits like halfway through the bumper. It's got the clear Lexan engine cover window that's supposed to evoke the F40. Overall, I think it looks great. It kind of reminds me of the Ferrari J50, that special edition that they made for the Japanese market. On the inside, it's more of a minor mid-cycle refresh type of look to it. They went to like round air vents, some buttons moved around, the steering wheel is slightly different. Steering wheel still has like 800 buttons on it that control everything in the car. But as an overall look, it should be a lot faster. I think it looks, I haven't been this excited about a mid-engine Ferrari design-wise since the 458 came out. Love the 458 as soon as that thing came out. 488, I was like, eh. Now the F8, I was like, dang, that looks really good. Really looking forward to seeing it in person. I really hope the renders / pictures look just as good on the car in person. But yeah, that is the brand new Ferrari there. Probably is going to be showed off at Geneva, but replacing the 488. Moving on to some more electric car news. The next generation Porsche Macan will be pure electric. We're not talking about having one model that'll be pure electric, a trim. We're not talking about every model having some sort of plug-in hybrid electric capability. We're talking about all the Macans are going to be pure electric cars. So the Macan is the entry-level Porsche pretty much. It's the most affordable / cost-friendly Porsche that you can get in the entire lineup, so hopefully they maintain that. It'll also be following the Taycan, which is going to be the first pure electric Porsche out there. It'll be underpinned by what they call the PPE. It's a premium platform electric or something. It's being developed with Audi to underpin all of their electric cars. It'll likely utilize the same 800-volt electrical system, the same motors and the batteries that the Taycan is using. And it won't arrive until probably 2021. But the next generation Macan will be all pure electric. We'll see how it does. Hopefully it handles well. Hopefully it still performs well. There is going to be an iteration of the Taycan that's supposed to have like 600 horsepower dual motor, 330 miles of range, do 0 to 60 and very, very fast. So hopefully the Macan also will get that and maybe a higher trim version of it. Something that I remember reading about that really confused me was Porsche is using the turbo designation also on the pure electric cars. So you'll get a Taycan turbo, even though it doesn't have a turbo in it. No turbocharger is in that car. It's a pure electric like sedan, but they're using it as like a designation of being the most powerful, highest output, longest trim, fastest car. That's kind of weird to me, but next generation Macan will be pure electric. There is a Huracan Evo Spider coming, which I don't think is a surprise to anybody. It was pretty much guaranteed that there will be a Spider version of the Huracan Evo after the Coupe launched, following the natural product cycle they always do. Like the Evo Coupe, it utilizes the same naturally aspirated 5.2-liter V10. It makes 631 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque. You also get the same aerodynamic and visual changes as you do on the Coupe with the new front fascia, the new exhaust tip exit points in the back, the little small like wing thing that goes on in the back here. It's supposed to be 5 times more downforce and aerodynamic efficiency than the previous Huracan Spyder. 0 to 60, and they say 3.1 seconds. I'm willing to bet it'll probably be a little bit faster. Top speed of 202 miles an hour. The top will retract in 17 seconds up to 31 miles an hour while you're driving. On the inside, you get the new giant like big touchscreen in the middle, some of the other minor changes to the inside. The Huracan is a great driving car. It is quite awesome. One problem with the Spyder, though, is I don't know if they'll address this in the Evo. I don't think so, because again, a mid-cycle refresh is the way they had to add extra structure for stiffening due to the removing the top, essentially. The seat space is a lot worse. They intruded into the cabin, so the passenger and driver's seat, actually there's only 2 seats. The seat doesn't recline as far back and does not go as far back, which leads to a lot less space. So someone who's taller, you will not fit well in a Spyder versus the Coupe. The Coupe is actually better off, even if you think about, I mean, the top's off. You get infinite headroom. No, it's actually not as comfortable. Next up, we have some news about the French. Peugeot is coming to America. PSA is the group, the parent company that owns Peugeot, Citroën, Vauxhall, and I think they bought Opel from GM in 2017. They talked about coming to America a couple years ago, and now it seems like it's becoming a little more official. It seems they are very serious about it. They are setting up a North American headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. most likely what's going to be coming are going to be pure electric cars, pure electric or hybrid plug-in vehicles. That's kind of the way the marketplace is going. I'm not quite sure why they're coming here. I guess they see an opportunity in the marketplace. They build cars in Europe. They're also expanding into some other markets, but that's not going to come. It's not like, don't expect to start buying Peugeots next year or anything. 2026 is the targeted date, allegedly, when they're going to be coming here. They make some interesting cars, actually. In Europe, I obviously have never experienced them. I live in America, but like there's some cool little hot hatchbacks there. Citroen makes a car called the Cactus, which looks really funky and has a funny name to it. But Peugeot is leading it, coming back to America. I mean, they must be serious if they're setting up a North American headquarters here. But hopefully they bring something enthusiast-oriented. I think that would be pretty cool, but likely it's going to be pure electric cars and hybrid cars. The last piece of news has some crazy high numbers. Upcoming hypercar, the Aston Martin Valkyrie, horsepower numbers have been officially confirmed. 1,160 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque. It has a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 that was developed by Cosworth. That engine itself is responsible for about 1,000 of the horsepower. The rest of it comes from the hybrid electric motors. That engine will rev to 11,100 RPM, and peak power occurs around 10,000 RPM. That revs crazy high. That is such a high red line. They say this is literally a race car for the street, drawing technology inspiration from Formula One cars. As an example, the transmission and engine are stressed structural members of the car. The rear suspension points bolt up to it. It is going to be quite intense, crazy hardcore. That I can't get over that 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 revving to over 10,000 RPM. It sounds really cool. It's going to make a lot of power. Obviously, it's going to be very fast. It's also very rare. 150 cars built, all allocated and sold. Also very expensive, $3.2 million. So that'll be insanely cool to see. So there we go. That's the car news of the week. Hope you guys liked it. Comment below what you think. What do you think about the F8? Does it look good? I really like it personally. Would you buy a base model Tesla Model 3? What do you think about over 1,000? If anybody doesn't like over 1,000 horsepower out of a naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12, I don't think they are a car person, because that just is cool. Hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thanks for watching.